welcome to my new YouTube channel. Thank you all for coming along with me on this weird journey that I'm taking. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me, and I hope you enjoy this video. So I'm sat here in my little reading nook. I thought what I'd do now is just take you through my February TBR, and then I'm gonna get reading. So these are the books I hope to read this month. There is a lot of them and I don't think I'll get to them all personally, but it never hurts to be a little bit ambitious. So I must admit the first two books that are on my TBR are books that I didn't quite manage finishing in January. The first one I'm hoping to get finished today, and that is the Mini-a-thon Book Club's Book of the Month from January, The Beautiful by Renee Ade, I believe. Ade. Apologise if that's not pronounced correctly. This one's really interesting. It's a bit of a historical paranormal fantasy book. It's set in the 1800s in New Orleans, and it features some creatures of the night, some vampires. It's really good. I am enjoying it. It's keeping me very intrigued because I don't quite know how it's gonna play out. Right now I'm just over halfway through it, and I am listening to it on my audiobook as well as reading it on my iPad Kindle app, just because that makes me read a bit quicker. Okay, and then the last book I've got to read that I did start in January but didn't quite finish is called The Prison Doctor by Dr. Amanda Brown. I only have an hour left of the audio of this, and I think it's something like, yeah, so it's like 80 pages, so it really won't take me long at all. This is a non-fiction book. I actually didn't start this one in January, I realised. I started this one in 2020, and there's a few books that I did start in 2020 that I just didn't get around to finishing, so I've tried every month to finish one of those books. So this was the January book. Obviously I did not finish it, and I have one in my February TBR that is another book that I started last year but didn't quite finish, so hopefully I get both of those done. This one's really good. This is, as the title suggests, it's about a prison doctor here in the UK. Dr. Amanda Brown was a GP for years, and she decided to swap career and decided to be a prison doctor instead, and it's really fascinating. I am enjoying it, and I will get this finished because it's an hour left on the audiobook, and I usually read those on 2x speed, so it'll be 30 minutes. So those are the first two books that I want to read in February. However, obviously there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's also then 9 other books I want to read, so like I said, it's probably not too realistic, but that's fine. One of the books that I'm definitely gonna finish in February is Blue Lily, Lily Blue. This is the third book in Maggie Stiefvater's Raven Boys or the Raven Cycle series. The reason I know I'm going to finish this is because I've been buddy reading this series with an amazing girl on Bookstagram, Burns Reads Books, and we've buddy read the first two. We're over halfway of this book, I think. So this week, so from February 1st to February 7th, I'm going to be reading just over 100 pages of it, which is 15 chapters, and then that leaves me with 11 chapters left in the next week. So I will be finished this by February 14th without a doubt. So that's one book. And then the other book that I have started already but want to finish is the one that I started last year in 2020. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to read one book that I started last year every month, so I actually finish them. And for this month I'm doing NYPD Red by James Patterson and Marshall Karp. This is as the title kind of suggests, NYPD Red. It's a sort of detective book. James Patterson, you know, crime author, and the NYPD Red are sworn to protect and serve New York's rich and famous. This has huge writing and it will not take me long to finish. I only got 20 pages in when I first started this in December, but just didn't manage to get through it. And basically from what I first read is there's a serial killer who is targeting like rich and famous like people of Hollywood, but New York version of Hollywood. it follows Detective Kylie McDonald and Zach Jordan, who are 2 detectives for NYPD Red. Okay, and then I've just got sort of a mixture of book club reads and buddy read. So I'm part of 3 book clubs. I say 3, it's kind of 2. So 2 book clubs that part of my 2021 goals was to stick to my book club read. So they are a priority for me. So the first one I'm going to be reading is on my Kindle app again, and it's Romancing the Duke by Tessa Dare. So this is the February book of the month for Book Boyfriends Book Club. You can find them on Instagram. It's hosted by 3 lovely ladies, Elle, Rylan and Maya. I will tag them all. Rylan and Elle both have their own YouTube channels, so I will tag those in the description as well. Please check them out because they're amazing. I'm honestly going into this blind. The only thing I can tell you is it's a historical romance. Each month the Book Boyfriends Book Club pick sort of a romance genre. It is a romance book club. So February is historical romance. So the only thing I know is this is historical. It is a type subgenre of romance that I really enjoy, but I haven't read that much of it. So I'm excited to add that one to my collection. Hopefully I love it. And then the next book club read I've got is for the mini-a-thon, hosted by the lovely Kira, who again is on Instagram. Again, they'll all be tagged in the description. And for February, there was 2 books to pick from. One of them I actually suggested to put into the choice hat, and it was drawn, so that's really cool because I've had it on my shelf for ages and I really want to finish it, but I just haven't ever gone to pick it up, so this gives me the perfect excuse. So it is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This one came out a couple of years ago, 2017, so 3-4 years ago, and it's been sat on my shelf since it came out, really, and I just haven't reached for it. Don't really know much about it either, for the fact it's been sat on my shelf for 3 or 4 years, but I'm excited. It is a historical read. It's set in London, 1893. I mean, the cover was super pretty, which is probably what drew me to it. And fun fact, I'm absolutely terrified of snakes. So I'm really hoping there's not actually physical snakes or not many descriptions of said snakes if there is. So going into that kind of blind, which I quite like because sometimes when you get overhyped books it can ruin your reading experience, so I'm excited to read that. And yeah, so hopefully we'll get to that one definitely as well. The last book club, and I say book club because it's more a group of 7 of me and my friends. We met through another book club and we wanted to read a few dark romance reads. There's 2 members especially of this wee book group who read a lot of dark romance and had some fantastic suggestions. So we decided to read one every month for people who also are interested in expanding their dark romance reading a little bit. If that's something that sounds like you'd be interested in, let me know. I can add you to the group. No pressure to read the book, which is why I might not necessarily get to this book this month, but there's no time frame on it, so it's a very relaxed, easy, unorganized book group. But this month we decided to try and read Master of Salt and Bones by Kerry Lake. This was a suggestion by one of the girls in the book club. Sounds really good, but again, couldn't tell you much about it, which I kind of prefer because it means I can update you guys as I do my vlogs when I find out a little bit more about what's going on, and also it just means that I'm not going into it with any overhypeness or preconceived notions of what the book's going to be, and therefore hopefully I won't be disappointed. And then the last books that I'm aiming to get to are all sort of buddy reads-ish. So the first book is one, again, I'm definitely going to get to, and I'll tell you why. It is City of Bones, the first book in the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. Now, the reason I'm going to definitely get to this book is, first of all, it's a reread for me. So this is actually the original UK cover as well. You don't see this one that much anymore. So the reason I'm definitely going to read this is because me and my friend Stasia, Readers C, is me and her both are not big fantasy readers, but a lot of our friends are. So we wanted to kind of challenge ourselves to read at least one full fantasy series this year, and we're going to do it together. Loads of people from Miniathon have decided to join in, which is absolutely great. So this is book 1, we're reading it in February. Book 2, City of Ashes, in March. City of Glass, you know, etc, etc. So 1 book a month, so not too hard a schedule to keep. You can read it in your own time. That means there's no pressure to read it, as long as we essentially read it within the month of February, because in March we're going to move on to City of Ashes. So the last 3 are sort of maybes. If I manage to fit them in, I will. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself to read them all. So these are all part of the 12 in 12. Again, Stasia, someone I've mentioned a lot in this video, she'll be happy to hear, I hope, started this thing within the Miniathon Discord again, where she wanted her friends to pick one friend to pick a book for her every single month from her already owned shelves. So this way, it's called the 12 and 12, so obviously you read 12 books in 12 months, selected by 12 people. So each month so far, I'm joining in a few of these. Once Stasia suggested it, a lot of us wanted to join in, so there's a few people's 12 and 12 that I'm sort of joining in with buddy reads throughout the month. So the first one is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. You've probably seen this before because it was a huge book last year. I got the Waterstones Sprayed Edges version last year here in the UK. So this one is part of XC's Book Nook. I will again link him in the description. It's his 12 and 12. Our friend Elise, who is on Instagram as Black Coffee and Good Books, picked this for XC because she wanted to read it, and because I have it and haven't read it, I've decided I'll try and join in as well. So the next 12 in 12 that I am reading is F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. I have never read this book. It's a wee short read, and this is for Elena's 12 and 12. She can be found at Bookish Procrastinator. I can't 100% remember who picked this for her, but they are reading it with them, and again, because I had it on my shelf, I thought I would read it. So I'm hoping I'll be able to fit it in, but again, it's not one of the books that I'm like going to beat myself up at if I don't finish it. It's not one I picked as a 12 and 12 for my friend, so I don't feel as much pressure to read it. And then very lastly, the book that I will attempt to get to this month is The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Again, this is a book that everyone kind of says you should read. I've never read it. This was my sister's copy. This book, this version of this book is so old. It's always a book that I said that I would read. So this was Stasia's Readers C's pick for February 12 and 12. Again, can't remember who picked it for Stasia, but I was like, look, I might, read it because I've never done it. Again, it's one that people say you should. It is a big book, which is a little bit intimidating, but I know so many people who absolutely love this book. Like, this is one of their favorite books. So that does kind of, want to reassure me a little bit better. I quite enjoy, if that's the right word, reading about Nazi Germany. So the fact that this is set in 1939 in Nazi Germany, I'm interested to see how that plays into the whole aspect of death that is a big part of this book. Again, don't really know much about the book as such, except from what's written on the blurb, and I hope I enjoy it, but I'm also not going to beat myself up if I don't. So that is all of the books I'm planning to read in February, including the 3 on my Kindle app. I also then have all of these ones. So it is a super ambitious month, especially considering it's the shortest month. To be honest, I don't think I'll get around to them all, but I know that I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So like I said, there's a few books that I definitely want to try and finish, like they're going to be my top priority, but the others, if I don't quite get to them, that's okay. But yeah, so this is the end of the first video I actually ever filmed. Not sure if it's going to be the first one that goes on my YouTube or not, but hopefully you liked it. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like this, please like the video, comment, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more. If you've got any ideas about what I should do as a new booktuber, if there's any like specific videos you want me to do, then please let me know in the comments below. I'm not 100% sure yet how regular I'm going to be updating, but I am going to try do it fairly regularly. I want to do some weekly vlogs, some wrap-up videos at the end of the month, and some like challenges I've seen other friends and other booktubers do. So if any of that interests you, then please hit that subscribe button. But apart from that, I hope you have a fantastic morning, day, or night, no matter what time zone you're in, and I will speak to y'all in the next video. Bye!